fucking snow, yo. There's all my leaf pile. There's some snow, snow in the air, blowing here. This is like the 2nd, 3rd October, something like that. She's coming down. 2 days after Samhain, Halloween, what do you want to call it? I call it Samhain, but anyways, see, it's starting to come down. I mean, some places have gotten way worse than us, but fucking shit all this. This fucking shit. Jesus Christ. It's all good though.
Media and everything that most celebrities, most news anchors, most of them don't like Trump, right? They want to get him out. So they want Biden. So we're going to see a lot of energy of media, celebrities trying to take Biden out next year. I don't know. Like, you think about that for a second. Okay. So then what happens is that once we start to realize, okay, we killed the king, we took him out. Who are you? Do you just destroy stuff? Like, is that all you do? Is that your personality trait? Is that you're an activist and that you care about other people other than yourself, and you like to talk about things that really don't have any personal, like personal, what's that called? What's that word? That thing inside of you is like, no personal bearing on like what you're gonna do in a day. Like it's not gonna you're gonna start to realize this. And that's what Jupiter, Saturn, and Aquarius are gonna do. They're gonna be like, who the fuck are you? Have you figured it out? We really, really want to get into what it makes you different, what makes you unique. And that is more important than groups. And so what you're going to see are there going to be a lot of no groups. No groups here. Nobody is going to be in a group at the end of this Jupiter and Aquarius transit. Now, Saturn will be in Aquarius for another year after Jupiter goes into Pisces, which is going to predate, I'm good at words, I need the thesaurus, Saturn in Pisces, which is going to be probably the rising of a big spiritual leader who's going to try to heal everybody. Because people will start to realize that turning to God or spirituality or spirit or whatever big spiritual nonsense is out in the world is more important than politics, because finally the rest of the collective will catch up to the fact that the president cannot save you because he's never had that power. And it's written in the Declaration of Independence in the preamble, which this stuff really matters, because when you're actually getting into history lessons about a country, you would have to be a complete dictator of the stars to change them, okay? And what we got when we go into the Declaration of Independence is we the people. Now, we the people means that the people always control what happens. Voting is a way for us not the people to follow what us not the people want us to do. So all I'm saying is everyone should have voted a third party and been like, fuck y'all, but nobody does, because you have to jump on the bandwagon to protect your rights, which you don't have any. It doesn't matter if I don't know. It's just like, it's so funny because when it goes into it, you really just want to take yourself out of the equation and tell the United States, I do not give consent for this oligarch to continue. And instead, we get all riled up about who's better than the other one. A turd sandwich versus a giant douche.
Holy fuck, this looks terrible. I look like albino shit. Anyways, all good. What the fuck's up? It's not about the look, it's about the message. So, I live in Canada, Ontario, Cornwall, Ontario, Canada. That's my hometown, and except for a little bit when I lived in Ottawa, I've basically been here my entire life. So I've been in Canada my whole entire life, so I can't vote in the States. I know every spiritual motherfucker out there is going to bring up the election today because it's the election, so I figure I'll play somebody who's got the point of view that I would have if I was in the States. Now, if I was in the States, I might have a different point of view if I was growing up in the States and had the programming of someone who lives in the States and so on and so forth. And that's not the case. I grew up in Canada. I voted one fucking time. I'm 34 years old, not 35 like Alyssa that I just played here, the Divine Venus. But she has the closest opinion. Now, Birch is a great mentor of mine, someone who I've learned a lot from, and I hope he is safe and sound and nothing bad has happened to him. I agree with what he says when it comes to real witches don't vote Republican because they want to kill you and all that. So voting against him so he's not in power to do things against witches and Wiccan religious rights and all that. I agree with that 100%. However, I agree more with Alyssa on this one and I know, and I've said this many times, if we were to take down this system, especially if it happened like overnight, we'd be all fucked. And I know that. Fucked. Because for all the bad shit that comes along with our system, there's a whole lot of good that people don't know about, don't realize, don't recognize, don't realize how much peace is kept in. People who would go around doing harm are kept in check because of our systems. I know this. So I'm also not saying that I want this system to go away, but more than ever now with everything that's going on, it would be great if we sent the message, and I'm in Canada, so I do this, my part in Canada, by not voting in Canada and telling people who ask me, hey, what do you think about me voting? I would just say, I don't vote because I don't believe in the system of us putting someone in power in this way. I don't have a better way to fix it. I don't know the better way to go about this. Would I like to be part of that discussion? Absolutely. I got some great ideas, but they're only ideas, and I'm biased to my own ideas. And without other people saying, "Hey, Corey, we can't do those ideas because of this," and you know what, this may work if this is what you mean and shit like that. Without other people dissecting my ideas and picking apart where it won't work and adding to where it would work. Because it's not a dictatorship. How can one person decide what everything should happen? But there's so many things in the thing I just played by Alyssa that I agree with, and that's why I felt the need to play it. A lot of people complain about our system and how, this and that and the other thing, and then they go and vote for, and I think her overall point, and one point I gathered from this was, if you're just voting against Trump because you don't like Trump, well, you don't really like the other guy either, and she's trying to say that it doesn't matter whether it's Trump or the other guy. They have these two political parties, and basically they're both going to do the same fucking thing, and which is barely do anything. They're going to tell you they're going to do a couple things, and out of those couple things they're going to do 1/4 of those two things, when there's like 8 quarters to 2 things, right? If you take $2 and you divide it by 8, you get fucking 8 quarters, right? You get a quarter, right? Basically, so I don't know how many quarters are in 8 or in 2, right? So you know what I kind of trying to get at, right? So I played her on here because I think it's great when she even brings up the whatever in the preamble of the Declaration of Independence. I think she says. Once again, I'm not an American, so I don't know, but we the people, and then she says, when we vote, we the people give away our right to do anything and say anything, because we are now saying we consent to these fucks dictating our futures for us, basically, is what I gather from that. And that's one of the things I look into very actively all the time, on how to be sovereign and live off the land and not have to pay taxes or work and whatever else, so much, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And the way she explained that was beautiful, and being that she said she studied political sciences and realized that within political science, the field, that how much little power the president actually has. I mean, can I take her at her word? No. Can I look up the shit she says? Yeah. Have I? A little bit. I started today, but then I got busy, so I didn't get to finish it all. So I won't get into too much of what I've already said. But so far, what she said is bang on. Most people know that the president doesn't have as much power as they put out to be. They put out. But when she says stuff like in 2008, so and so on Saturday Night Live said this is going to be the most important fucking election of your life, and then here we are in 2020, and they're saying the same fucking thing. It's the most important election of your life. Like, obviously, every time when you're in the present, it seems like what's happening is the worst. Before COVID, we had all these fucking bad scenarios playing out that were going to happen. I mean, we still have some. People are talking about the money. We're talking about the food shortages, but they all seem to circle COVID. Whereas before, it was like, okay, FEMA camps, okay, vaccinations, okay, chemtrails, things like fucking fake chakra system I didn't even know about. But like all these different conspiracies that weren't really connected, except for this vagueness of the NWOs orchestrating it all, which still might be true. I'm not going to say it's not. But then now we have COVID, and it's like, ooh, this is a big play by them. It's like, I think it's simply plague. Like I said this before. I think COVID is plague. It's because of us the people, everybody. That includes the elites, not the elites and whoever else. And I think the media and independent media and intellectual dark web, whatever you want to call, YouTube, us, all these people, everybody, including myself, to come out here talking. I think we all add and exaggerate what's going on, and we add our spins to things, and then people catch on to that, and people start repeating it, and then whatever resonates with most people, they start thinking it's true when it's probably not, or maybe it is. Who the fuck knows? But I don't think. I think this is something that's caused by not us. Okay, we are making this worse, but this is Mother Nature. Whether you want to call it a reset, whether you want to call it, okay, everybody chill the fuck out. When you look at the astrological shit, like when she said this before, whenever things got worse last time, that there was going to be more separation, less groups. And then when Saturn and Jupiter get together, there's going to be even less groups, which means COVID's going to seem like it's getting worse again for us to have less people at our house, less people gathering, more lineups outside of stores, and everybody's going to be like, COVID's worse. But it's like, well, how much of it is COVID and how much of it's astrological? People don't seem to understand how these planets in the sky that are also within you have an effect on everybody who has these planets within us. People don't seem to understand that. But I like what she says about, whenever Jupiter gets out of there, it goes back into Pisces, kind of like the age of Pisces, everything is about Jesus. Well, she's saying when that happens, there's going to be a new spiritual leader, and people are going to start pulling away from the presidency finally. The rest of the collective is going to catch up with how spirituality is more important. The only problem is if this fucking guru she talks about is a fake fraud motherfucker who's just taking people for a ride, it's like, wow. There's going to be more of a need for more people to get out here and speak the fucking truth and tell people how simple it is to simply put a suggestion in your subconscious to play out in your life. Okay? It doesn't matter. If you don't know your heart's desire, that's okay. And I'm going to harp on Thunder Wizard again, and I hate doing it because I think he's got a lot to offer, and I like his message, and he's got a good message. But if you start a curriculum like I'm starting, if you don't have the money to do programs that he's doing or whatever else the case is, and he tries to bully you into it, and he tries to tell you the Western magic is bullshit and it's Abrahamic religious, so don't do it because you can find your own power within that, but I want you to buy my products instead, shit like that. Well, I'm here to tell you, you get a free fucking book, free PDF, one of my last fucking videos, probably my third last fucking video. So not the last two I put out, the one before that will have the PDF, Kabbalah, the Great Work of Self-Transformation, right in the description. You click it, it'll automatically come up. You can decide to save it onto your phone so you have it all the time when you don't have Wi-Fi, or anytime you have Wi-Fi or streaming or whatever the case is, you can just open it back up, open it back up, open it back up, and read it, and start the practices within there, and you will start to change your life. And it will tell you how to do everything step by step. The first initiation phase is 6 months, is what they tell you in the book, how long it takes for the grades. Frater says 8 to 12 months is his opinion, how long it takes, but he says 6 months would be a minimum. Just fine. You want to do a 6 month minimum, do a 6 month minimum. I wasn't ready in 6 months either. I did fucking initiation twice. Well, not really twice, but I did it, And then I kept doing it even longer. I kind of restarted over to make sure I did overkill. I'm over analytical in some ways like that. But then, fuck, it's getting too hot in here. But then, I did elemental grade twice. The first elemental earth grade twice, and that's because, like I said in my last video, I fucked up. I stopped. I realized I could fucking heal people. I realized I can heal myself. I can keep smoking and drinking, it wouldn't matter. I realized I can beat the drug thing. I realized a whole bunch of fucking shit, and I thought I could just fucking keep manifesting my life and everything would work out, and everything kept manifesting. But then a bunch of shit started falling apart. And so I continued, and now arguably when I took a break after the last elemental grade I just passed through, when I took my break and started working again and all that, well, things started falling apart again. And it was because, once again, I stopped kind of practicing doing my daily ritual. And everybody knows what kind of happened there. So obviously I'm back into it now and everything's going great. So, and you could say, well, that's not good. If every time you stop this thing, it's like, well, because it's designed for you to do it all the way through. And if you do all the way through, you're not going to have these problems that I've had. So learn from my mistakes, but you can start doing it for free and start manifesting stuff. And you can, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can simply take up sigil magic and put instructions into your mind. Do what I say and fucking watch the same videos over and over and over again. You're going to be on YouTube anyways. Why watch some fear-based bullshit about whatever else? Whether it's something scary or not. I mean, if you're going to watch something other than magical stuff to program your mind, at least make it something you can learn about, something that's useful, for God's sakes. But otherwise, if you're just going to try to put out fear-based shit and prove that, reptilians are you're being targeted, and I'm not saying that's not real. If you think you're a targeted individual and you're putting energy into that, you are a targeted individual. There are thought forms out there that are reptilians and that are targeted individuals, and these entities can work through other people, and you will have these things happen to you. But the simple remedy is to get a sigil, get some kind of symbolic gesture into your mind that this thing is no longer going to happen to you, that you're protected from these things, and then stop focusing on it. And definitely stop adding fear into it, and then it will stop. I mean, it's that simple. And the same thing with your money problems. This goes the same for your money problems. If you're having problems with money, well, the first thing you need to do is start making sigils saying that you are free from money problems, that you banish your poverty. You want to use Saturn for that, do it. You want to use the moon right now is waning, which means it's going to the new moon, which is the perfect time to banish stuff because it's banishing its light. See, I still use this part of the moon to bring stuff to me, because the more light the moon has, the more power you have to bring stuff to you. This is how I worked it on my mind, and it works great for me. It might not work like that for everybody, because I think a lot of people put more focus in from full to new is when you banish stuff, and from new to full is when you invoke stuff, which is fine. But my 14-day cycle is different. It's when the moon has the most light is when I bring stuff to me, and when the moon has the least light is when I banish stuff from me. I just have a different cycle, and that's just because I'm a witch. I'm a witch, and I use fucking witchy ways, and I use the moon my own way that makes sense to me, and whatever makes sense to me is going to resonate with me, and it's going to fucking manifest better for me, because in my head, I programmed my conscious beliefs into my subconscious. Therefore, my conscious beliefs are now in my subconscious, so my subconscious works off of those rules to manifest in my life. But if you're having money problems, well, you do the same thing as if you're having reptilian problems, or you're having being a targeted person problems. You banish it using Saturn, and then after you banish it, you invoke fucking Jupiter to protect you. Like, Jupiter protects the Earth from asteroids all the time. He's the biggest planet. Shit coming from the fucking asteroid belt. He fucking helps us with that shit, I think. Anyways, I'm not positive. But, I know if it wasn't for Jupiter, there's a lot of things that would have hit us. So you can invoke that within you, because Jupiter's within you. You can use your own Jupiter. It comes down, and I mean, this is getting more occult science-y, but you have a magnetic field around your body produced by your heart. There's even one produced by your mind. When you allow things into this magnetic field, you can be affected. I was doing that before I got in this shit. My fear-based stage, I thought I was a targeted individual at one point. Was like that, the only thing on that list, one of the viewers She's got her own channel and is doing great on there, by the way. I mean, she seems like she's got some things happen bad to her from time to time there, and who doesn't? But, you know, she's got more subscribers than I do and shit like that. But, nonetheless, all the things there, the only thing I really knew about was targeted individuals. Because I thought I was at one point. To the point where I'd go outside and I would hear whispering. You know, straight out of, like, you ever watch the TV show Lost? At night, you know, the others were around them whispering. That's what it felt like when I went outside. Like, I was fucking scared shitless. I started smoking in the house for like a month because I was scared to go outside. It got bad for me. And then when I stopped focusing on it, it stopped happening. And now I'm at the point where that thing is not even a possibility. And I know that it's thought form fueled by people putting their energy and their thoughts and then, you know, the motion into that, and then going out and taking actions and talking about it and, you know, thinking it's happening, you know what I mean? Going around and finding proof in their life that this is happening. They're adding action to the fucking emotion and the fucking thoughts. Therefore, manifesting that when they could be doing that same process to bring stuff to them. So if you're having money problems, once again, just like if you're a targeted individual or having reptilian issues, Frater has this one of his fucking videos saying there's most people that are part of these reptilian groups that never had problems with reptilians until they joined the group. And they blame it on the fact that the reptilians know where they are because they joined this fucking group. It's like, well, stupid, why'd you join the fucking group then? Like, you told the universe or God or whatever what you wanted to focus on. Hey, this is what I want to happen to me. I want to be fucked over by reptilians so I can talk about it on YouTube. And if you say, well, that's not true, well, it's like, well, then why are you talking about it on YouTube? And I'm not trying to be mean. Like I said, I was in those stages. But if you have a money problem, you banish the fucking poverty with fucking Jupiter, with Saturn, and then you invoke Jupiter to enhance, expand your finances that you do have, and then you use maybe Venus for getting brand new fucking money that you don't even know about from unknown sources and shit like that. And that's if you do ritual magic. If you don't read ritual magic, you can simply start making sigils saying you banish your poverty and that you're so lucky that you're free from poverty whenever it's the dark moon, whenever it's waning like it is right now. And then whenever it starts waxing, it goes from the new moon to the full moon, then you start saying, I'm so fucking grateful that I have abundance of financial currency, i.e. money. From unknown sources. You can put numbers in there, limits in there, whatever the case is. You can turn those statements of intent into sigils. You can straight up just keep writing those on those candles. And at the same time, I literally mean at the same time. So while you're carving your candle, or while you're doing your statement of intent, or while you're turning that sigil into something, have magical shit on the background. Have the Frater Xavier Mind of Magic channel. So if you can find his all his videos where people to have testimonials of how magic worked, his magic work that you're doing, the same magic he's teaching you're doing. You have that on in the background while you're doing this. You're reaffirming this as you're doing the fucking sigil. And then take all the steps needed to do sigil magic. That's easily found. I don't need to go through that. But listen to it while you're doing that. Plus, this also makes your conscious mind focus on what you're doing, right? You're focused on what you're doing, but what you're writing is going right in there. Or at least the programming from the YouTube video is going right in there because you have your conscious mind out of the way, so the subconscious is wide open and goes right in. You're blocking your subconscious mind from being able to block that. It's like you're holding your subconscious mind in place. That's why I say if you do the dishes and you have something on in the background, you're consciously doing the dishes, and then that shit's going to go right in the subconscious. And if it doesn't work out like that, well, the opposite will happen, and you'll learn this shit even faster. It's like crossing your arms. Whenever your right arm crosses the middle part of your body, you're now engaging the left side of your brain, right? So the left side of your brain controls the right arm, and the right side of the brain controls the left arm. But as soon as you put the left arm past that middle point, you're engaging both sides of the brain. Oh, you do that with this arm. Engaging both sides of the brain. You want to learn faster? Fucking have your arms crossed and your legs crossed when you do this. But then people meditate like that. Come on, I've talked about this many times. You can add all these little things while you're listening to stuff so it goes right into the fucking subconscious all at the same time. These are little techniques and tricks that are so easy to do. And so when it comes to being a targeted individual, if you like that, if you're addicted to that and you're getting these dopamine spikes and getting that heroin feeling and whatever, that high, whatever. If you like it, you like it. I mean, who am I to judge? Fuck, I'm not gonna judge anybody. If you like that, you like that. But if you don't like it, and you get to the point where I was scared and I thought I was hearing shit, because that's how powerful the mind is. Every fucking part of my body would tell me, and my hearing would told me that shit was fucking real out there, but it wasn't. But that depends on your definition of real, because did my mind create that sound around me? Is it because I focused on it, so I manifest whispering? Was I tapping into another realm? Was I hearing the thought forms for targeted individuals for them to hear? And then the sensory, my nervous system interpreted it, my brain interpreted all those signals that I was getting as actual sound. You know what I mean? You know when you get that feeling someone's watching you? Or maybe someone is watching you. Or maybe your brain just interprets this eerie feeling you're getting as someone watching you, and fuck, someone's watching me again. You know, it's real because your brain interprets it as something really happening to you. But at the same sense, it doesn't mean it's physically real in the physical realm, like physically happening to you. But it doesn't make it any less real. So once again, money problems or problems being a targeted individual are relieved the same way. Just like if you fucking think you're cursed. If you think you're cursed, well, odds are you're cursed. But odds are it's not someone cursing you, it's you cursing yourself. And simple steps needed. Get a black fucking candle and listen to things that say black candles absorb fucking negative energy. So I am grateful that this black candle absorbed all the negativity. Don't say negative energy, sorry. Negative energy was the wrong word for me to say there. Black candles absorb negativity, harmful energy. So right on the candle, I am grateful because negative energy is negative ions, which is what grounding does. When you put your feet on the ground, it gets negative ions balance you out, because we are bombarded with way too many positive ions from Wi-Fi, from radiation, from TV screens, and they cause anything from depression to cancer. So this is why people in Canada, people blame it on the sunlight, and it probably has mostly to do with sunlight. Sunlight is healing, but too much sunlight can give you skin cancer as well, right? And what can cure can kill. But not getting enough sunlight and stuff like that makes people depressed. But you're also in the house more, you're in front of TV screens more, you're not getting negative ions from outside as much, because when you do go out and put your feet on the ground, well, you got bigger boots on here in Canada because we got fucking snow, like I showed at the beginning of the video. So even if you are touching the ground, you're not making a connection, because, well, how do you prevent yourself from getting electrocuted if you're doing stuff? Well, you have fucking rubber in between the metal, right? What's our shoes made out of? Fucking rubber soles. You think the people that make this don't know that? If everybody was out there making connections to Earth all the time and getting those negative ions, then we'd be healthier than a pig and shit, and there'd be no need to push all these fucking drugs from the pharmacy companies. See, there are conspiracies worth looking into, but unless you can really do anything about it, if you know the remedy, you might as well just keep fixing yourself, telling people how you fix yourself and keep yourself healthy, and don't bother spreading the fucking shit anymore, because if everybody can just stop focusing on the conspiracy and the details and just start healing themselves by grounding and getting the negative ions in their body, so they don't have to go run to the doctor and get fucking dope and pills and shit like that every time they're a little bit sick and think something bad's happening, then those pharmacies, those companies would just go bankrupt. If everybody was healing themselves using the earth, the negative ions from the earth, then those fuckers wouldn't have any more money to keep pushing their dope. So, there'd be no need. This is what I mean. If you stop focusing on that shit, it won't expand anymore. Let's focus on the remedy, the solutions, instead of continuously focusing on the problems, because we think we have some smart idea about it that doesn't help anybody. Let's focus on the remedies. So whether you think you're cursed or attacked by reptilians or a target of an individual or have a fucking implant. Alien implant was another thing I looked at up as well. Like I said, cord cutting was as far as I got thinking what happened to me. I don't think I ever thought I had an alien implant, but I've seen quite a few weird fucking things come out of people's skins and doctor operations and shit. I don't know if they're real or not, but that is something of interest in me, but I stopped watching it because who knows, maybe you can literally grow an alien implant if you keep fucking focusing on it, and you think you have something, it'll start getting some weird bump in your neck, and all of a sudden you'll have something pop out. And it's like, well, I thought that's what you wanted. You focused on it. This is the universe talking. I thought that's what you wanted, because it's just you kept focusing on it over and over again, Corey. So you clearly want it. Like, you know, what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on it, it's not like you got abducted by aliens. No, you manifested it. You put so much energy into it that the Corey on the astral developed an implant, so it had to develop in you down here. Can't argue with that. That's how magic works. So the same remedy, and this is, you know, I said I was going to start getting into more and more straight, point blank fucking magic shit. And this is one of these such episodes. And if you think this isn't point blank, well, it's like, I'm not going to go like detail by detail, because if you look up sigil magic, it's a very simple process. You know, you take your fucking statement of intent. I am so grateful. I am so grateful that I successfully banished poverty out of my reality. And you can even take it a step further, out of the reality in the astral and in this reality. But I don't do that, though. So it's up to you. But out of my reality, I will be harm-free someone to be. Sign your fucking name on it. If you have any magical names or magical sigils like I do, like for your name, put it on there. If not, just sign your name. Take every fucking vowel out of that bitch. Take every double consonant out of that bitch. Consonants you have left, you make it into a symbol. Some people put a circle around it. A triangle pointing down is something to come into you. If you're trying to banish something out of you, maybe something going up, away from you. And you can use regular symbols too. So like if you're trying to manifest money, adding the money symbol in there, even though it's not part of your word, is fine. Every letter is its own sigil as well. I can't remember the name of the book now. I mentioned it in another video that goes through a lot of this. Frater does a great job. I think it's Words of Power. He goes through that as well, but I can't remember for sure. But he goes through every letter of the alphabet and what the symbol is, the sigil, and what it means, and how you can use it to your benefit. But anyways, but yeah, so you make a sigil, and then you focus on that intently, or you mark it on your candle. And once it's on your candle, you light your candle. You know, if you do ritual magic, then great. If you don't do ritual magic, light your candle. Stare into that fucking flame. The fire is in between the realms, okay? It's a gateway to another realm, basically. You can't travel through that, literally, but you can focus into that flame. And if you're good at visualizing, well, the best thing you can do is in the moment, after you carve that on there, you stare into that fucking flame and you visualize what you wrote down. So I banished poverty. You're going to visualize your poverty being banished, meaning no longer having money problems, meaning your bills are paid. So you visualize the bills statements coming in saying you no longer have a balance owing on any of these bills. And maybe you even visualize your paycheck coming in and you not having to pay bills. Whatever banishing poverty is to you. Like, I can't, without knowing your circumstances, I can't tell you exactly what to visualize, but you visualize that happening in the fucking candle. And if you have the sigil on the paper, because you already made it on the paper, and then you put it on there, well, either stare at that while you hurt yourself somehow, like severely hurt yourself, like burn yourself, like, you know, that'll shoot that in your subconscious, or you jerk off to it. Do both. Have sex to it. Whatever the case is, put it on your fucking ceiling. If your wife's on top of your guy, or you're the girl and you're on the body, having a ceiling, so the man, as soon as you come, especially if you're a girl, if you can do multiple orgasms, fucking do it, man. Every time you come, you fucking look at that bitch in your subconscious. Like, it'll happen in no time. And then use the other part of the moon whenever it starts waxing to invoke financial abundance. Don't just say abundance, because abundance can be kids. All right, it can be wealth. Well, wealth can be kids or health. So abundance is a term for a lot of, I guess, is one way to put it. Probably not the best way. Check out a thesaurus; it'll tell you the other meanings of that word, and that's a good thing to do. If you're doing statements of intent, and especially if you're trying to bind down the action not wanted, that's where the harm-free comes in. It's kind of a catch-all kind of thing, but like if I banish poverty, free from financial, I don't fucking know how to write that. I would just say harm-free, but financial harm-free, you know what I mean? You don't want to fuck up your financial situation, but point is, binding down the action not wanted. If you use a thesaurus for words, because I stay away from all negative words, meaning, I do love my wife. Harm-free somewhat to be, you know? That's one thing. I do not love my wife is going to end up being I do love my wife. Or I do not want to see this person ever again is in your statement of intent. Maybe you have a stalker. Well, that's not how you write it. You need to write, I am free from seeing this person in my reality for the rest of my days in this incarnation. Is what you should write for something like that. Because it will not recognize the negative words when you do statements of intent, any kind of magic, anything you say to the universe. If you're using either sarcasm or negative words, this is why affirmations is called affirmations. You have to affirm things. You have to use positive language to the universe. That's one of the things I wanted to mention in all these things I talked about, how positive affirmations are with Thunder Wizard. It's one of the things I should have mentioned a few times. I did in one of my earliest videos about affirmations. Affirmative. You're affirming stuff. You have to use positive projection. It's part of the action you're taking. Okay, action is projection. Projection is positive. Positive is affirming something. You have to use positive language when you talk to the universe. So if you have to banish something, that's why you use banish, reject, or deny. Yes, they might have a negative energy to those words because you're negatively taking something out, but it's a verb. It's not I don't, or do not, or didn't, or none, or neither, or either, or anything that's like direct, you can use. Indirect, I don't know, but I don't use it, just in case. So if you needed another way to say indirect, then you have to look it up. Like for me, whenever all this stuff happened, I made sigils to make me never be unfaithful to my wife. But then I'm like, fuck, I can't use unfaithful. And I wanted to make sigils for her to never to be unfaithful for me. But I couldn't use that word. So I had to go, I Googled it, simple as that, Google unfaithful, other words meaning. And then it gave me a bunch of other fucking words to use. You know what I mean? And like stuff from like straight up like extramarital sex came up. You know what I mean? So I'm free from extramarital sex. Means my wife will not be unfaithful. But it's language that they will understand. You can't use negative language to something that only accepts. Because it can't accept a do not. Because it's not in action. It's inaction. You know what I mean? I do not do anything. It's like, I do anything is what that turns out to be. It's like, okay, it understands action. It doesn't understand inaction. And it's a very hard thing to understand. And the only best way I can relate it is to a baby. And it's the same reason when they say, oh, it's the best way to get your kid to do something is to tell them, don't do something. Because they don't understand the don'ts. And it gets that negative suggestion going on. Like, well, why can't I do this? And it makes them curious and they want to do it. It's like, the universe is like that. You know, it's like, well, why doesn't he want this? Well, it's not really how it works, but I'm just saying, same thing with my baby. I tell my baby, don't hit. All she's hearing is, do hit or hit. One or the other. And so she hits. So I have to use symbolism. I take one of her little babies and I show her, I hit her baby that she loves. Ah, Daddy, don't hit my baby. It's like, see, hitting's not nice. We love the baby. Hitting not nice. See, I use a not there, but she kind of gets the just because I'm showing her, I'm hugging the baby, you know, I'm loving the baby. We don't hit the baby hurts. You know what I mean? So when she hits sister, that hurts. I have to show her through action. Okay, and that's why Thunder Wizard preaches action. But you can use the correct words to affirm stuff in the universe. If you're using negative words, well, then, yeah, you're going to get the opposite thing. And then you're going to say, well, okay, well, I did all these affirmations to not be poor. And I said I didn't want to be broke anymore. And then I ended up broke. It's like, well, yeah. And your affirmation worked because it didn't understand the didn't. So you got exactly what you asked for. You just fucked up asking. And it's because you didn't know the rules of the game. That's not the universe's fault. That's your fucking fault. It's not affirmation's fault. It's your fucking fault. So anyways, you do that, and that's how you get the sigil in your head, by the jerking off method and all that. Simplest way. And, you know, people like Thunder Wizards say, you need to know your heart's desire. If you know your heart's desire, blah, 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 blah. And all that shit will teach you your heart's desire. And he probably is right. I don't know. I never took his thing. But here's what I'm going to say to you. When you get the money you ask for, it's going to be like, yes, I got the money. And then 2 days later, you're going to be like, fuck, man. I thought this made me happy, but, you know, I just paid off my bills, and more bills are coming in next month, so this isn't my heart's desire. So Thunder Wizard's right. It's like, yeah, it's because now you got to cast for what the fuck your heart's desire is. But at least you start casting for stuff, you start getting the fucking results, then all you have to do is ask your subconscious mind in the correct way, what the fuck do you want out of life? And it'll tell you. And it might beat around the bush for you. It might have to lead you down the path. You might get a dream that tells you, hey, you're supposed to be a doctor. It's like, holy fuck, thank you. Or, like me, you're going to have to go all these roundabout ways, because maybe I already know what I'm supposed to be, and I just keep fucking trying to say, there's no way I can do this thing, because maybe I saw a program I got to get rid of. Who knows? Point is, start doing little magics that don't matter, like orange ball in your yard. Try healing a fucking cat you see limping down the fucking road. Try sending your fucking mom some money. Maybe you don't even like your mom. That's a double whammy, because if you send somebody something you don't like, it's like, holy fuck, you don't like this person, yeah, you're trying to help them out. And then if it manifests, then great, and it's more proof that this shit works, and then the more you get proof, the easier it is. But you know, if you're having problems with entities, and that's gonna be the problem, whether it's reptilians, or you think you're targeting an individual, or you think you're cursed, well, it's going to be hard for you to stop thinking about the fact that you're cursed, because you're fueling that either thought form or that circumstance. So you do need to banish it, and eventually, even if you cast for it, if you're constantly thinking about it, it's not going to happen until you're able to stop thinking about it. But what I did was, until my magic started manifesting, every fucking night I wrote the same fucking thing down on a candle. I made a sigil. I wrote my statement of intent in so many different ways. I kept making different sigils for it. I kept putting it on candles. I didn't jerk off every night to them, but I kept having all these different sigils. And then, you know, after a week's worth of those sigils, I would jerk off or fuck my wife to one of them. And then, you know, I keep making more sigils, and then did that for like a month. And then, okay, it didn't manifest yet. Well, I'm going to move on to some new magic. And then, while focusing on the new magic, I was able to forget about the thing that I was trying to cast for. So for that whole month, yeah, you're still putting your mind like, fuck, when's this curse gonna be broken? Like, I've been casting for it every fucking night. Well, because you're still holding on to it. So best thing to do is to start putting your focus into new magic. Put energy into it every night for 30 days. Get it created on the astral plane, and then the next 30 days you move on to something else, and you'll see. The minute you can stop thinking about that for a long enough period of time, whether it's 3 hours or 3 fucking days, 3 fucking weeks, whatever it is, it will manifest. And it's a law. It cannot not happen. It's a fucking law. It will happen for you. You just gotta start. I'm serious. You just gotta start. That is it. If you start, it'll work. Anyways, and you know, by doing it for 30 days in a row, continuously putting that energy in, that's 30 days of you putting energy into you on the astral, having that thing, so it'll funnel down to you here in this plane. That's how I started doing it. But now I don't have to do it. I can make a candle one night, and the next night do another thing. So my 30 days, I was doing like every 30 days I had to put energy into it, and then the next 30 days put energy into the same idea. I do that daily now, and it happens for me. It doesn't happen every day. Some things happen faster, some things don't. But I still see it because I write my things down in a separate book that's not consecrated in any specific way. And I'm not going to get into this now because it's confusing, but I have specific consecrated books that when I write in them, things manifest. It's like, anyways, doesn't matter. But I have specific books that are just to keep track of my spells. But nonetheless, if you're keeping track of your spells, you're writing in a book and you slam the book shut, as it is written, so it shall be done. It's a Bible verse that people put energy into. Therefore, if you write stuff, it'll come true. Another reason why sigil magic, statements of intent, writing on candles, and just simply writing in a book works. And I proven this with like Jordan Peterson. He's got a self-authoring program. You write down the things you want to accomplish in life. You've got a bunch of kids that do this in all these different colleges. And every single time he's did it, you know, the boys always did better than the girls for some reason, but the boys were always doing worse than the girls in the beginning. It gave them hope. But then they would write things down, and they always accomplished it. Some at a lower degree, some at a higher degree, some at a lower extreme, some at a higher extreme. But they all accomplished what they did. They all got their grades higher. They all ended up graduating. You know what I mean? It's amazing. And simply by writing something down, and then now they had a blueprint, and they followed action towards these things they wrote down. Is it the writing down? Was it the action they took? Was it the thought and the energy they put into it and then doing the action? All of the above. It's magic. That's the laws. It's going to work for you. Anyways, a little shorter video today. I talked about a list in the beginning of this, and that's probably because on the podcast I'm going to play her. I may not play a lot of her on here. I might just play a little part. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But if I do play her, I hope she doesn't get mad for me playing her. I really like the episode she put out today. She tells this one girl off in the one part. If you already heard it, it's awesome. You fucking bitch. And I mean, if you're a Trump fan and you resonate with the people on there, I got nothing against you, man. All the military guys, the military guy that married my mother-in-law, Jeff. He's an awesome guy. He loves Trump and all that, and, you know, to each his own. I mean, I don't love Trump. I don't fucking hate Trump. I don't give a shit about Trump. If Trump makes it clear he's coming after witches and shit like that, then I'm gonna fucking probably hate Trump and curse his ass and whatever else. But I don't know. I'm not in the habit of just taking people's word for things. I do see where it could be construed that he is doing that, but in the same sense, I don't know what to say about it. I'm not an American, and I'm not going to vote for it. The only thing I can do is Magick for it. But right now, my life, my kids, COVID, and all this shit takes precedence over over the president of another country that doesn't even hold my own fate. You know, if anything, I'm going to fuck with my prime minister, fucking Trudeau, and I don't even bother doing that shit because I can make my own reality. So fuck all that other shit. That's my opinion of it. But anyways. It doesn't mean, though, anybody voting for Trump or not voting for Trump that I hate her. I don't love you. I am from we can agree to disagree. But if some fucking president starts coming for witches or magical practitioners, then yeah, I'm jumping on that bandwagon and I'm going to help you guys out and do whatever it fucking takes. I will go across my fucking border here illegally because I'm not allowed to cross because I'm a criminal. Or ex-con, whatever you want to call it. But I'll take a boat across because I still have native buddies over there that'll boat me to the States, and I'll fucking grab some guns from my native buddies and I'll come help your ass out. I promise you that. You call me up and you tell me when and where, and I'll be there to help you out. I'm not for guns because I think money is energy. Guns are a type of fucking tool. It's the person using it. If there's more guns out, is there more death? Probably. But the people that want to kill people will find a way to kill people whether there's guns or not, is really my ultimate stance on that. I think there should maybe be harder laws and stricter laws. In Canada, we're pretty strict on our fucking guns, and it's not hard to get a gun. A grand, maybe even $800 right now, I can get you 9mm if you want. You know, might have a body count on it, but I can get you one. It's not hard. AKs, you know, $3,000, maybe 5, depending on how old it is. I mean, these numbers are like 5 to 10 years old since I've been doing illegal action. So this might actually be way higher than what I'm saying. Point is, though, if someone's going to go out there and try to kill my fucking species or my fucking race, like people in general, if there's somebody coming after just people, if I find out that COVID is something biological that the government fucking released, and someone wants to start a fucking army, military, militia of people who wants to resist against that shit, that's a hard thing to turn down. I might fucking say, you know what, let's do this, boys. And I'm sure most of the natives on my reserve will fucking go for that. I'd be like, you know what, they fucked us over long enough. Let's go fucking take it to these fuck faces. You know, I'm not going to go against that. But I don't think that's ultimately going to solve anything either. I think we have to evolve in a different way than war. You know what I mean? We've done the war thing. It's happened in our lifetime, but not on our land. Like, not here in Canada, and I don't even think in the States during my lifetime, but I know, like, Iraq and Afghanistan and all these other places, you know, and I don't want to see any more soldiers dying. I don't want to see any innocent people fucking die for anything. And that's the problem when these things happen. Innocent people die that shouldn't fucking die. So I don't like that. I don't believe in innocent people dying. But I do believe in protecting innocent people. And if there's a bunch of magical practitioners trying to change their life, getting targeted by some fuckface in a fucking White House or any office, then yeah, someone should fucking pop a cap in his fucking right in the center of his fucking head. So we save the rest of all these other fucks that are going to be burnt or whatever the case is. I agree with that. I agree with taking out one life to save the many. But only if you can prove that is actually going to happen without a shadow of your doubt. You know what I mean? Saying that, you know, all these hypothetical situations, I get it. It's cause for alarm, and it's cause to really stay awake and keep an eye and potentially get a weapon to protect yourself. But it's not a reason to try to assassinate the fucker right now, you know? And I shouldn't even talk like this. I mean, I have fucking, like, Secret Service on my door and stuff soon. Once again, I'm in Canada, so it would take me a long time to get to Washington, boys. And I'm going to bed as soon as I put this video up. Anyways, I'll probably lose more subscribers for this video. I tried not to get political because I'm spiritual, I'm not political. I'm a witch. I'm a fucking ceremonial magician. Ceremonial magic is not something you're born into. I think witch can be something you're born into, but can also be something you become. There's blood witches and all that, and I don't know if I'm a blood witch or not. My grandmother was a witch. She was told to stop practicing by a priest. But I know I'm a programmed witch, which means as a kid, my whole family talked about my grandmother reading tea leaves, healing people, having premonitions, bed shaking shit, talking to spirits and all that. Everybody knew that. Grandma showed us some really cool things too she could do. That was programmed to me since I was like fucking, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way till when I was 11 or 12 when she passed away. That's 12 years of being programmed that becoming a witch and being a witch and having power on the LeBlanc side of the family is a real fucking thing. My last name's LeBlanc. So there you go. And they say environment is more powerful than heredity for programming, right? You get programmed by the people you're around, by things you see, hear, touch. Well, I got programmed to be a witch. I'm a programmed witch. So, I ain't taking that programming out. Fuck that. That's why I can manifest shit. But anyways, that's enough for today. Have yourselves a great fucking day. Hope you enjoyed. Don't take anything I said to heart. If it hurts your feelings, I'm very sorry. I just want to try to help with the things I think I know I can help you with. And I don't know a lot, but I do know if you're having problems with something, stop focusing on it. Take the simple steps to change it. Get rid of it. Banish it. Right now is the perfect time to do some banishing magic. Banish that shit out of your life. And then whenever the moon goes to new, the day it turns to the new moon is when you should have your biggest spell for banishment. And then as soon as it starts growing, start invoking the opposite. So if you're trying to banish something, the opposite would be invoking money. Like if you're trying to banish poverty, start invoking money. If you're trying to banish reptilian issues in your life, well, then you start invoking angel issues. I don't know. Spiritual growth issues. You know, if you have a bunch of issues of being able to meditate and put things in your subconscious, well then, holy fuck, that's a big problem. If you're able to put things in your subconscious, left, right, and center, like there ain't no fucking thing, like, man, you're gonna have some problems. The biggest problem you're gonna have is to guard your gate. It's your mind, because you can manifest what you want, but if you start seeing things and putting energy into it, well, you're gonna manifest those things. See what I mean? That could be happening to you right now. You could be a powerful magical practitioner. This could be the whole point of targeted individuals. The people that are targeted individuals are the people with the natural ability to manifest what they want better than other people. So some people are really good at manifesting things. Some people have to do different ways, whatever the case is. Targeted individuals probably are the people that can create thought forms faster than most people. Therefore, if they get all those people focusing on something that keeps their mind off actually fixing their life and helping other people and manifesting like something like, you know, a better fucking presidential system, a better government system, or they get them focused on them being targets, and they get them to put all their energy into something like that, well, then they're not a problem. So don't let them fucking use you like that. Don't let them fucking abuse you like that. Don't let them fucking twist your powerful mind. You could be more powerful than all the people I talk about on here. So take your power back. Use your fucking power for good. You deserve it. Have a good one.
I wanted to do to teach something worthwhile, since the herbs, maybe you'll find something of value with the herbs, but it turned out way more messed up than I had planned here. Sigil magic. I wanted to do a little on sigil magic. Sigil magic borrowed for witchcraft from chaos magic. Chaos magic probably borrowing it from ceremonial magic way down the line. Probably Solomon. Probably something Solomon did. But I don't care if it's traditional witchcraft. It's so handy, so useful, since so many things rely on you having a symbol, a good symbol to do your magic on. Sympathetic magic, having the ability to create symbols cannot be overstressed. So let's get right into it. The statement of intent. All magics must have a statement of intent. Really important. Be careful on your statement of intent. We're using I will a thing to be. Now, I wrote it in English just so you can see it, but it would be best if you did it in runes or some other, a dead language, something not used to do your taxes with. Even Latin will do, but runes or some other script works great. Let's see, how the fuck am I going to do this? Okay, first you got to go down. After you have your statement of intent perfect, and we're going to assume this is perfect, we get it on the list, cross out any repeating letters. We only need one letter. See, we got one I, so we don't need that I. We got an L, so we don't need this L. We don't need this I. Looking it upside down. That's about it. Then, we assemble the letters. I will We can assemble the letters on top of each other like this, or, you know, any way we want, really. What's important is to have something that you can duplicate again later, for use later. Another one. Can't even see what I'm doing. And like that. So you can break it down. You can trace letters over top of each other, so you don't have such a huge pattern. So you've got the I here, got the T here, O. I don't have the O yet. There would have the O, and then the whole thing would be complete. Actually, after I have the B. Just assembling letters on top of each other to make a symbol. Then that symbol can be carved on a candle. Quite often it's burned at the peak of ritual, because nature abhors a vacuum and moves to fill it. Provided you've done enough work and enough energy work on that thing, and concentrated on that thing, it exists in the astral plane. And if you burn the paper, it still exists somewhere. It's got to come to pass. It's got to, a reaction has to occur. I don't know how much time I've got, so I want to share this with the world. This right there, the money magnet sigil, created by the Circle A system of Magick, just within the last year, about 6 months ago or so. This is the kind of sigil you don't destroy. This is the kind of sigil you share with people. This kind of sigil gets more powerful the more people that know about it. And here it is, becoming more powerful. We've been sharing it with the world, and more it gets used, the more powerful the money magnet sigil is. And it was made just like I described, except using runes. Got a little happy face, so we're sure that the money is going to make us happy. Lots went into it. But I don't want it to be too long. The basics of sigil magic. Hope that kind of made sense. Sigil magic, where you remove it from the plane of existence, causing the vacuum to occur. It's one kind of sigil magic. Then this is like public exposure sigil magic, making a sigil that even if people don't know what it is, they look at it and focus their energy on it. Like the Hawaiian shaman said, where attention goes, energy flows, and all you need is for people to see your symbol. See, you just did it for me too. Thanks for making the money magnet more powerful. You can use it. Howdy, tubies. Freak Phil here. Oh, another cat. That's Inanna over there. Another one of our cats. I got cats everywhere. I wanted to add a little bit to the sigil magic, because not enough can ever be said about how handy it is. But in addition to the reassembling letters on top of each other to make symbols, studying some symbolism is really important too. Triangles, squares, even like dollar signs, circles, spirals, even just the basics of symbolism can be incorporated into this. An inverted triangle around a sigil, a triangle pointing down for money, triangle pointing up for spiritual things. Those are just the starts of what you can do and make a really, 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 really cool symbol. I talked about these two types, but this can also be you can put it on a candle. You can put it in addition to other symbols. But the basic sigil magic that I was just describing, I breezed over really fast. The idea is that this becomes the focal point of your ritual, and you concentrate all of your energy, or if you go into a trance state, focus on it, and go into complete psychotic gnosis, focusing on the thing. When you've reached your peak, sex magic, fucking great for sex magic. Just look at it right before you orgasm. Stop yourself from orgasming many, many times while focusing on it. The thing will be like beaming with light. Once you've done that in a ritual space, in a consecrated circle, remember I said that part, in the circle, we've done this symbol. The peak point of that ritual, we light it on fire. We burn it. We remove that symbol from physical existence, and that's how the saying goes. Nature abhors a vacuum. You've spent enough energy on that its counterpart exists on the astral plane. The astral plane has everything that exists on the astral plane has to have a physical counterpart down here. If it suddenly doesn't, nature moves to compensate, and hopefully moves to compensate with your will. I hope that makes sense. Very neat, very part. And take a done teaching witchcraft for a little while.